Decoding Skills Development Legislation with your host, Darren Vandenberg. Hi, and welcome to another legislation review with me, Darren. We are currently dissecting the QCTO policy for RPL. We are talking today around point 6, which is the standards for qualifications on the OQSF. Remember, that stands for the Occupational Qualifications Sub-Framework. Okay, the standards for qualifications on the OQSF. It talks about this. It says currently the occupational qualification standards is determined by two elements. One is the design specifications for the occupational qualification, which is realized through its supporting curriculum. Okay, so this is really important because the reason why assessment doesn't work in general and the reason why RPL typically falls apart is because the assessments are so poorly designed. You can't assess someone's skill demonstration through writing an exam. It just makes no sense. Writing an exam tests knowledge and understanding. Skills is tested through observation and application. So this really talks about, it's saying the standards for these occupational sub-frameworks, qualification sub-frameworks. The first one is the design specifications of the occupational qualification. And they realize it's a supporting curriculum. So a curriculum is content provided that ends with some kind of an assessment. That's what drives the curriculum. The second thing it talks about is that design specification of the assessment strategies and tools, both formative and external summative assessment. Evaluation and monitoring of the manner in which the curriculum is delivered and the assessment strategy is implemented supports the standard. Assessment strategy, it nails it down, it's talking about it. And in a previous policy of the QCTO, which is the e-assessment and e-moderation policy, it talks about a really good assessment strategy. If you have a really poor assessment strategy, you've got a very poor way of assessing skill. And this is the gap with training providers. A lot of training providers buy their content off the shelf, which has really crap assessment strategy, and it's just tick the box exercises, with the argument being, yeah, but you can't design a scale for one assessment for many different types of training. And I agree with that. You can't, so don't. Your assessment strategy has to be linked to the outcomes and outputs of your program, the behaviors that have to be demonstrated if someone's learned. That strategy requires knowledge and understanding, which the QCTO is built for. It requires practical and workplace integrated learning, which means that can you apply the skill practically in the workplace? Now, depending on what you do, writing a test does not enable me to see if a waiter can serve a table or if a machine operator can operate the machine or if a forklift driver can drive a forklift. Someone needs to be there standing watching them do it. Your assessment strategy is key. You need to work on that and make sure that it's linked to the behavioral competence and demonstration of skill that you require, which your learning content should be built around. Okay, this then talks about evaluation and monitoring in a manner which the curriculum is delivered and the assessment strategy is implemented supports the standard. Okay, so this is the standards for qualifications on the OQSF. External integrated summative assessment is an integral and critical component of the QCTO's quality assurance system. The external integrated summative assessment covers the three components for the qualification on the OQSF, which is the knowledge, the practical, and the workplace, which we've just spoken about. It ensures consistency and credibility of assessment of occupational qualifications, trades, and part qualifications. You see, what happened was because the assessors are cutting corners in general, because they only get paid at the end of the assessment, and because it's too much money and the workplace doesn't want to pay the training provider to bring the assessor to the workplace, what happens is people cut corners, and now the QCTO has gone, we've had enough, stop cutting corners, go and do your portfolio, get assessed and get a statement of results. Then we will, through our AQP, do a ASA, and we will give you exit level outcomes that you will get reassessed on. Now, you're not rebuilding a portfolio, you are proving that you can do the ELO, because if you've built the portfolio and been assessed and been found competent, the ELO will be a cinch, right? Well, we hope so. So the assessors really need to up their game here. And one of the key bodies you want to consider is the Digital League of Assessment Professionals. It's a new professional body that's just been created through Passion for Performance to enable assessment, because assessors seem to struggle with their roles. They don't really give good enough feedback back to training providers on how to relook at their materials, and especially don't really kind of dive into really good assessment of competence. So this body's been created with some really top level people, and we will be offering you the opportunity to assess yourself or get assessed and get a rating on how well you assess. Okay, the last point here says will be conducted using, so external integrated summative assessment will be conducted using national standardized assessments instruments developed by the relevant AQP, quality assured by the QCTO. This is awesome because there is a standard measure now that gets your qualification. It used to be like that with SAQA, except, as I said, the assessors were cutting corners. So what will happen is the AQP now will, assessment quality partner, will create the ASA with the design, the design partner, and that will be offered standardized. Now, because of technology with P4P, this can really become a very quick process. In the e-assessment policy of QCTO, they talk about assessment centers and assessment sites. Have a look at the discussion, because assessment are no longer have to be written tests. They're not 3-hour exams unless that's situationally required. They can now be applied skills in the workplace. And with P4P, an e-assessment and e-portfolio platform, now the beauty of the assessment is that the whole formative, or the building up the portfolio, getting assessed, getting a statement of results, is digital. Your AQP can immediately access that. Your learner can go do a ASA, which is an observation. So remember, the ASA is not digital. The ASA is applied skill, applied learning against the ELO. But using P4P, you can digitize the assessment of it, which speeds up the process, wrapping up the assessment, getting the results of the QCTO quicker, and that way the certification can be rolled out quicker. So that's a really good discussion. Standards for the qualifications on the OQSF. Have a good day.